Schafft mit am Start und er ist ein brillanter Karaoke-Sänger, hat es in der TV-Show in Großbritannien zu X-Factor tatsächlich bis ins Fernsehen geschafft und deshalb natürlich auch sein Spitzname, der X-Factor Andy Boulton.
Everybody was moving, grooving.
England gegen Wales. Andy Boulton trifft auf einen 25 Jahre jungen Waliser, der in den letzten Jahren einige Development Tour Events gewinnen konnte, der 2015 auch im Viertelfinale des World Grand Prix stand. Aktuell ist er die Nummer 37 der Welt. Herzlich willkommen, Rasta J.Lewis.
Daniel Larsson, the Swede, has kicked off this evening's session with a 6-1 domination of Germany's Michael Hertz. It is all on little Martin Schindler, eine kleine Dartspieler in the final game of the night for the host nation qualifiers here at the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix. Can Shindy get past Mick McGowan and have some German representation in the second round? We're now turning our attention to one of the top players from Wales, against Andy Boulton, a Stokey, and they're usually good at darts, them lot from Stoke, although he's now based up in Scotland. First Euro Tour appearance for the year for Andy Boulton, whereas J.Lewis, well, he is perched just outside where he'll need to be to get to the European Championship. The grand he's guaranteed to pick up here today puts him on £7,000 on the European Order of Merit. We're expecting it to be around the 11 grand mark, 10, 11 grand. Might be enough to get to the European Championship. J.Lewis knows he's got a bit of work to do, and that starts right here in Mannheim against Andy Boulton. Chris Murphy joins me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for this one.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Andy to throw first. Game on!
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And J.Lewis is a man who knows what it takes to have a run in these European Tour events. Of course, a former finalist on the European Tour.
Boulton.
Reached a decider in Gibraltar back in 2013. That got him in some big TV events, including the World Match Play. It was a cut-off for the World Match Play then.
60.
And Andy Boulton, well, he did have some fun on the Euro Tour last year, didn't he? It was an amazing match against Dave Chisnell, I recall. He reached the quarter-finals.
Did they both miss 9 darters in that game?
They did.
And when we say miss on the final dart.
It's as good as hitting one on the European Tour.
Yeah, that's as close as you're going to get. Not just, oh, I missed the 9 darter because I went 180 and missed the 7th dart. Getting 8 perfect darts and then missing the last one. Madness in Risa.
I'd had a run this year to the semi-finals of a Players' Championship event in Milton Keynes back in May.
58.
Well, that's the thing, Andy Boulton. That's why I was
surprised that he wasn't.
That he hadn't appeared on the Euro Tour already this year. You just kind of expect him to be there or thereabouts. He's gritty. He's very difficult to beat.
He beat James Wade to get here. In fact, both of these players beat major champions en route. J.Lewis beating Robert Thornton in what could well be the defeat that sees him not make the World Grand Prix. All that to play out over the weekend as well. 102. But he stayed there. For double 11.
80.
Like the lie. This is a real X-Factor shot, isn't it?
Oh. It's still on. It's still on.
120.
Very nearly pulled something special out the bag. Does J.Lewis split this?
Well, he chose it. He's persevering. edging closer, but needs to adjust a little more. And they've done it perfectly in the end.
It's always the danger when you leave yourself one of those weird doubles that you're almost wasting darts at the start of your visit because you're so terrified of missing inside that really you're not even throwing it at the target, you're just throwing it outside. But it's a breaker throw, and Lewis kicks off with a maximum. It's a fantastic couple of visits for Jamie Lewis.
Well, of course, Boulton would have been faced with the same conundrum, having left double 15, if he had returned.
60.
Didn't. And Lewis breaking in the first leg, off with a max in the second. He's another player who can look sublime at times and not so much
96.
at others, although that can be said of many a darter.
It certainly can, but Jamie Lewis, by his own admission, he's not had a good year. That's a great visit from Andy Boulton, responding with his first maximum. But Jamie Lewis said last weekend that he felt things were starting to come together for him. He was starting to put in performances that were a bit more like what he expected of himself. We saw him beat Harry Robinson 6-2 last weekend in a solid display, 95.5 average, and then he averaged close to that again, but Rob Cross did for him because he averaged 105. 167 won't go. Andy Boulton has put himself in a very strong position to break straight back.
And you require 120.
11s. Oh, he's hit the double. Well, that fly has got to have distracted him. A fly crawling around on double 11. Andy Boulton, he must have looked at it and then just thrown the dart where he was looking.
Well, it's pollinating the PDC logo there. But Andy Boulton
89.
can blame that fly for that miss.
That could be crucial.
Game shot the second leg.
Well, Jamie Lewis taking full advantage.
Game on.
Now, was it one of those occasions where Boulton saw the fly and just had to go for it?
100.
Well, he shouldn't have done. He'll have wished that that fly was on treble 11, not double. Bizarre instance here in Mannheim.
100.
Jamie Lewis and a fly, 2-0 up on Andy Boulton.
Should you say that no animals were harmed in the making of this darts match?
I'm not sure. Andy Boulton gave it a whack.
I've been told to say that, Dan.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
But Andy Boulton's chances of winning the match have been harmed. They were saying at the beginning of the game about Jamie Lewis's run to the final in Gibraltar 4 years ago that catapulted him into major TV events. And perhaps, as we've seen with many a young player, Keegan Brown, for example, who's up next, you just expect them to carry on doing that. He carries on doing this, he'll be playing again tomorrow.
Well, roles reversed in this leg, isn't it? Andy Boulton on a big check out with his opponent on 1-2-1.
If he did hurt the fly, he might wish he hadn't.
Yeah, he could do with it coming back here, potentially. Not the double 11. Yes, there. Now the ball. Ooh.
And he requires 76.
Right. 76. To halve the deficit. Just one dart at double top.
36. Jamie required 25. Game shown.
It's 3-0. It's 2 breaks of throw, and the Welshman is in charge of this one.
Game on.
And we said at the start of the coverage today that one of the most interested parties in this weekend's action is not here, and it is Robert Thornton, who's qualification for the Grand Prix is precarious. And it's down to, well, it's down to a number of factors, but one of them is being beaten in qualifying for this one by Jamie Lewis, which has taken it completely out of his hands. For this weekend, at least. Obviously, there's been a year or two of games where the Thorn has had ample opportunity to put himself in an unassailable position.
100.
However, I've just seen one report from a pretty decent source that the 16-time world and 16-time match play champion Phil the Power Taylor might have decided to sit out the Grand Prix. In which case, that would open up another spot in the top 16, and the Thorn would have a little bit more of a cushion, although Alan Norris and Simon Whitlock winning tomorrow would knock him out of that top 16 anyway. So, we'll see if we can get confirmation of that. Because the number of times we'll see Phil Taylor in competitive action, well, it's running out quickly, and that might be a big one that he's just not taking part in. Boulton looking to get back into this one, though. That's 180 number 2 for X Factor.
Well, 160 for Lewis. Not going to go. But PDC TV subscribers around the world, and of course TV licence payers in the UK, will see Phil Taylor next weekend at the Champions League, and he does this kind of thing for fun. But can Andy Boulton, a man from the same town, clean up 81? Yes, he can. Arms aloft and off the mark.
Andy to throw first.
And it's a break.
Game on.
Yeah, he needed something to get back in this match, Andy Boulton. Maximum and an 81 checkout for a 15 darter. Giving him a platform upon which to build, and build he will.
One right on Fulton.
Yeah, we will aim to bring you confirmation of that breaking news throughout this evening's broadcast.
80. One right on Fulton.
Back-to-back ton 40s, and Andy Boulton looks like he's come to join the party now.
Andy Boulton is a man whose tour card may well be under threat come the end of this darting season. So this could be a huge chance for him to pick up some crucial ranking prize money. The winner of this match going to take on Michael Smith.
You know, he's just inside that top 64, isn't he? But with the Worlds being such a huge factor.
Yeah. And he'd started the year at 57, so he's slid slightly. But he's managed to stop the slide in this match. 78 points away from reducing the deficit from 3 to 1.
And you require 17.
Sun may not really be enough for Lewis. 20 for tops for 3-2.
38. Jamie,
Probably
going
to get another crack. In fact, he will.
60. And you require 40.
So it was 3-0 to Jamie Lewis. The gap is now just the one leg. Got a very different feel this game now as the gritty and stubborn Andy Boulton claws his way back into it.
Here comes Lewis again.
One right on Fulton.
The Boulton for the first part of this match was limbering up and stretching as if he just turned up. And it has taken him a while to warm up, although we did have that issue with a fly that prevented him. It would have probably been a dart at the ball, so might not have mattered, but we'll never know. But he certainly just found his feet a little bit now.
Well, the one thing you will say that got cuffed by Andy Boulton. It's not returned that fly.
Well, it's either learned its lesson or has had no choice in the matter.
Yeah, shuffled off this mortal coil.
60.
Well, this pair have met on 4 previous occasions. Lewis has won both their meetings in the PDC.
100.
Boulton had beaten Jamie Lewis in an open event some years ago, but it is the first time in a couple of years.
Did these two meet at the World Masters?
59.
I have a feeling they may have done. Yeah, it was in the early rounds of the World Masters in 2011. It was,
yeah, that in fact was Bolton's win, wasn't it?
Yeah. Andy Boulton winning in the early stages of that one, 2011, so 6 years ago. Almost to the day, in fact. And Jamie Lewis was just 19 years old.
58. And he requires...
For a 25-year-old, he does have a lot of experience, Jamie Lewis.
But he certainly did. Only 21 when he reached that final in Gibraltar.
80.
Bolton misses double 19 to complete a 3-figure checkout. Lewis eyeing up one of his own. May need the bull at the end of this combination. Or he may want double 11. The story that would have turned out to be. Bullseye it is.
81.
Quite some way off in the end. Andy Boulton has options here. Straight at it or split it. He'd split it. Double 16. Ooh, Andy Boulton, 3 on the spin, and he lets everyone know.
Well, he gave us the eyes, didn't he? Looked like he was going straight for it. But yeah, Jermaine Watermainer style roar from Andy Boulton.
Watermainer certainly got stuck into his game earlier on this afternoon, beating Michael Ploy 6-4. Some proper neck-bulging roars going on from the machine gun as he closed that one out.
Yeah, he was get in, wasn't he? Andy Boulton's gone for the old-fashioned come on.
Well, he's old school. X-Factor, isn't he? Well, to be fair, extra points probably should be given for Jermaine Watermainer to be giving mad cries in a foreign language.
This is true.
100.
Well, take your pick who comes out of this one, because 3 legs for Lewis, then 3 for Boulton. There's not a great deal between them in terms of the averages. I mean, it's 94 and 89 in Bolton's favour.
100. And you require 161.
Is he going to go for it? Doesn't look like it.
129.
Really has come back into this very strongly, Andy Boulton. Looking for just a second win against Jamie Lewis in his career.
140. And you require 32.
Well, to completely turn the match on its head. Double 16. There it is. Another cheer
Andy Boulton,
from Andy Boulton.
13 data. He's getting better, if anything, Andy Boulton. Jamie Lewis looks like he needs a good strong leg just to stop the rot. It's at 3-0 up, and Andy Boulton hitting insects left, right and centre.
Now he's flying.
100.
Yeah, it might be the good strong leg he needed.
140. $135.
Pretty much blow for blow in this one.
Yeah, one of many matches this evening that had the potential to be a close encounter. The next one I like the look of, the next couple actually, Richardson against Keegan Brown coming up, and then Christoph Ratajski against Robert Owen, 2 players who really impressed in Maastricht last week.
49.
Yeah, Robert Owen, another Welshman involved as things stand. Oh, now then.
Well, he may well go for it. Went down for the 17s.
137.
Stop the rots.
140. And you require 20.
Well, there is pressure on this. Jamie Lewis, he's lost the last 4 legs. He needs this. Double 6.
Game shot on the 8th.
Slap bang in the middle of the green bit, and Jamie Lewis, a 14 darter. We said he might need a good leg. He's produced one. You see. A couple of 13 darters, a couple of 14s, a 15, 2 17s and an 18. Everything in 5 or 6 visits to the board. Solid stuff. 96 average for Andy Boulton, almost 93 for Jamie Lewis. There you go, 98 plays 94 right now. And rising. 5 maximums in this game. Jamie Lewis shading it 3-2, but he needs to find a break of throw, and he's not got much time to find it. And he might not have much opportunity to find it if Andy Boulton... Oh, it's just a ton.
Yeah, another treble there would have really put him in pole position, but Lewis has the chance to force the X Factor into a spectacular outshot to hold on to his throw here, and that's what he's done. Pressure on. Has Andy got the answer?
It's a no from Boulton. Lewis, 2 darts for the break. 15 for double 16. That's the easy bit. And that might well have felt good out the hand, but it did not find the target. Boulton's still looking at a ton plus, but it's gettable.
But it's not got.
Jamie, you require 32.
Jamie Lewis with a bonus chance to break in what he hopes will be the penultimate leg. Double 8 has to step across to the left. This is tricky. Fire it in between the 2 posts, and he's done just that. And Jamie Lewis now has the match in the palm of his hand once more.
I've said this before about Jamie Lewis. I think the strongest attribute he has is his temperament. Time and time again, we've seen him have the bottle to see out close games. That run to the final in Gibraltar was littered with 6-5 wins against some big names. Painter, Lewis along the way. We've seen him come through. I remember at the Grand Prix he had a run. He beat Michael Smith, I think, in the first round. That was a close run game. But he does have that ability to keep calm under pressure and take out shots like that. And last start in hand in that little passage of play, which we knew, and they would know as well, could go a long way to deciding the outcome of this match. Jamie Lewis, despite making it hard for himself, missing on the 16s and the 8s, fired in that 3rd dart to the double 8. And now he has Andy Boulton where he wants him.
99.
Can he just mount a sprint finish?
96.
Every treble.
Not enough to get to a finish. Andy Boulton has to try and leave one here. That's why he started on the 18s. He is thinking clearly, Andy Boulton. But not executing to his full capacity.
You do feel in a match like this, 1 treble a visit at this stage is good enough. Certainly will be for Jamie Lewis. Get himself down.
60.
Well, 108 would have looked a lot better than 148, and Boulton with a chance. You'll have to find a couple of trebles, if not the lot. If not, the lot. But he's found 2
Jamie require 140.
and would hope to have a shot at 106.
Oh, a ton 40 in that position. It could feel like it's worth twice that, because Lewis is not going to take out the 148, and Boulton only needs 1 treble to give himself a dart for this leg and become the favourite once again. He came close in the last leg, just missing out on a finish just above a ton, and he's going to get another dart. Double 16. X Factor's favourite again.
Andy Boulton.
Superb finish
Final leg.
from Andy Boulton to force a deciding leg.
Game on.
140 followed by a 106 out. And as you said, Danny is the favourite. He has the throw. And again, looking at it, 1 treble may well suffice. Because Lewis has blocked himself here and had to switch, hasn't found a treble. And it's Andy's advantage to lose.
He could. Well, I was going to say he could take Jamie Lewis out of it if he filled it up there. It's another 1 treble visit. It's good. This may be better. It might be the lot of them. Oh, that's so unlucky.
It is, but what Boulton's doing, if he keeps finding at least 1 treble, is forcing Jamie Lewis from this position to outscore him. Hasn't this time.
Well, in that run to the final in Gibraltar, Jamie Lewis, 6-5 wins against Painter and Adrian Lewis. And in both of those games, he hit 180s in the deciding leg. Just like this!
Is that the moment the pendulum swings back in the favour of Jamie Lewis? Because he's got 6 darts from 127 to break in the final leg.
A fascinating battle this has been, but Jamie Lewis doesn't need to go for the bullseye and takes the sensible option of leaving himself 3 darts at double 16 for the match. Jamie Lewis had him, and then it looked like Boulton had slipped through his fingers, and then what a final leg of darts it has been from Jamie Lewis.
Really has. And it's the temperament that you were talking about, Dan, laying up to leave double 16 rather than the rush of blood going for the bullseye. Can he finish it off? Yes, he can. Ice-cool finish from Jamie Lewis to edge a thriller here in Mannheim. The Welshman moves through to the 2nd round and will take on the bully boy Michael Smith tomorrow. Unlucky Andy Boulton on his first European Tour appearance of 2017. Gave it his all, but just fell short as Lewis wrestled the match out of Andy Boulton's grasp in the end. Lewis through. We'll hear from him in a moment, and then we'll be back with James Richardson against Keegan Brown.
Zwischen Jamie Lewis und Andy Boulton, dem X-Factor. Da checkt er 106 Punkte, um mit 5:4 in Führung zu gehen und verliert trotzdem noch das Match. Jamie, congratulations. Very interesting match.
Yeah, very interesting. It's my daughter's first birthday today, so I put a bit of pressure on myself. I didn't want to lose this game. I didn't want to let her down, so I'm so tough to get through that on her first birthday and really happy.
Ja, das müssen wir direkt übersetzen. Er sagt, heute ist der Geburtstag seiner Tochter, die wird 1 und er wollte so unbedingt dieses Match gewinnen. How difficult was it to be up 3-0 and then get down 3-4, and then the pressure was on your side suddenly?
Yeah, it was difficult. I say I got in front at the start, and I thought it was going to be quite a comfortable game. But then obviously Andy came back and did well. And to be honest, at one point when he got back to me, I thought I was going to lose the game. So I was just so tough to get through it.
Big 180 in the last leg.
Yeah, definitely.
Michael Smith is the next one. Opponent tomorrow. What do you expect?
It's going to be a good game. Like whoever you play in the next round, they're going to be good players. So if I play, my game, then who knows?
We're looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Jamie Lewis. Zum Geburtstag seiner Tochter gewinnt er hier sein Auftaktmatch, zieht in die 2. Runde ein. Und er sagt, es war natürlich schwierig, erst 3-0 vorne zu liegen, dann der Rückstand von 3-4. aber hinten raus im letzten Leg dann auch nochmal eine 180. J.Lewis, Rasta, sehen wir morgen also wieder im Match gegen